All right, welcome everybody to our great announcement that our Smart City Challenge has been submitted last week, the Village Initiative. We're very, very proud of it, and this is the team that I want to introduce first of all that worked very hard on the project. We have our technical director, Mark Shrieky. We have Councillor David Torgman. We have our city manager, Tanya Abramovich, who worked around the clock with Dita Burku, Councillor Burku, who led the project. It's been a challenge. That's why they call it the challenge. But I think we came up with something that's really great, something special that will not only change the way in which the city of Côte Saint-Luc, the seniors in the city of Côte Saint-Luc live, but will help seniors across the country. Because it is an initiative that allows individuals who are elderly and living alone in their homes to live in safety, to live in happiness, to feel connected to their community in a way that doesn't exist yet, but it's there. All the technology exists. So our challenge, and we're going to explain it in a video in a moment, a wonderful video that many of you participated in, and we thank you for that. Our challenge uses this technology to bring back, and what I've always said, that it used to be a time when the three generational families lived together in a home. So we're trying to do that with technology and make sure that three generational families can still live together, maybe not in the same home, but using technology. And that when something happens, they know right away, just as if they're living in your home. So whether it's a fall, whether somebody's blood pressure is going up, or their sugar's out of control, whether they left the oven on, or there's water dripping onto the floor, they know. And further than the family knowing, so does the city and the community know. And the proper authorities are able to come and help, whether it's volunteer citizens on patrol or emergency medical services or the healthcare system as needed. So we're going to show this wonderful video that tells you a little bit more about our proposal. And we thank you all for being here. And let's start with the video. My grandfather, he always told me that he lived in a small village. And in that small village, his job was to take the hot cooked meal that his mom made and bring it to his grandfather. They were taken care of by their children and by their grandchildren. They lived in three generational homes. That's something that we've lost. And the Smart City Challenge basically is to bring that back through technology.
When we speak to the residents about this project, they are really, really excited. We did a public consultation and we asked them to draw their care map. Basically, you draw yourself in the middle and you put who is in your entourage who will come and help you if there's something wrong, who will know if something happens to you. And some of them had grandkids, kids, friends, all sorts of people. And then there's one in particular that I remember. It was a little stick figure with a sad face and a big tear, and it said nobody. And yet this person still had enough hope and trust to come to a public consultation because they believe that something can change for them. And this is why we're doing this.
Côte Saint-Luc is the greatest place in the world to live, I believe.
There's a personal touch, there's a community touch.
We have over 500 volunteers that help in so many of our different programs, which makes our city unique and great. In Côte Saint-Luc, 30% of the population are seniors.
Where the rest of Canada is going, we have been for decades.
We are now the living lab for the future.
So what we do here in Côte Saint-Luc will help all cities throughout the country.
The city's in the business of delivering service. We do it well, but it's not enough.
The society that we live in is not designed for seniors.
And that became our challenge.
We will implement a connected framework that will enable seniors to live more independently in their homes and communities, such as motion sensors, a fall detection device, our connected mobile app, and more. Say you live alone, you may only have limited resources for help. The Connected Village allows you to access resources when you need them. Imagine getting out of bed at night and having the lights turn on automatically, reducing your risk of injury. What if you're walking outside and happen to fall? A simple wearable could monitor the situation and trigger an alert to city services, or even better, to someone who might be physically closest to you in the moment who can respond quickly. Or perhaps you left the stove on, A level of response could be anything from a device that automatically shuts it off to a call to check in on the situation, making sure that you and the residents around you are safe and sound. The Connected Village could also help you with your social engagement. You could receive reminders of upcoming activities at the library or local theater, and even arrange for a lift. All of this could be made part of your personalized plan in the Connected Village.
There's opportunities here to save people who are healthy, who just have one moment of inattention.
On peut imaginer la technologie un peu comme un bon voisin, c'est-à-dire quelqu'un qui est là en soutien, sans être envahissant.
And connect our seniors to the social services, to the medical services.
Seniors want data from technology to be used appropriately and according to their wishes.
Parce que la Ville a une mission sociale qui est de soutenir ses aînés. Elle a une grande crédibilité auprès de la population, donc ça nous permet de mettre en place des systèmes innovants tout en ayant la confiance aussi du public.
With the Smart City project, we will be able to keep patients at home, keep them in a healthy, secure environment, keep them out of the hospital if they don't need to be here.
We have to adapt to those seniors who want to have that confidence that they can stay in their homes and still feel comfortable and safe.
I preferred living at home. I tried out one of the residences. I didn't love it, so I came back home.
The future's technology. I would like to see that. I'm counting the days.
Today, we can start to do something to make everybody's life better.
I think anything you can help, any little thing, is so appreciated.
There are situations where people might not need these solutions today, but they will need them tomorrow.
I think the city of Côte Saint-Luc's and our vision of moving care to wherever the patient happens to be are totally aligned.
On va pouvoir raconter un peu une histoire autour du projet de Côte Saint-Luc de façon à ce que cette histoire puisse se répéter.
Nobody should ever have nobody written at the top of their care map.
We're the perfect place to implement this technology to ensure safety and good health and connection with community through the Smart City Challenge. So thank you all for that. I know some of you saw yourself in the video, and we thank you all for your participation in it. The city of Côte Saint-Luc is where Canada is going to be in 20, 30 years in terms of the amount of seniors that live in our city, as well as the fact that 1 out of every 3 households has an individual living alone. So we really feel that we can do something and be a living lab right here in this city. And with what we do here in Côte Saint-Luc, it will be transferable across the country and hopefully outside of Canada and beyond, because the technology's there and we're making it happen. So thank you all for that. I'm going to now pass the mic over to Councillor Burku. Burku? Yep. Councillor Burku.
Yeah.
Sure,
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, thank you very much. I don't know how many times I've seen this video. Tanya and I watch it every time together. So I just wanted to say, before I start explaining the journey, I was going to give you a whole intro about the journey. I think we really have 5 stars here, and I'm so happy that you're here, most of you, except for one who couldn't make it. And I want to introduce you to the pilot participants, the pioneers, we call you. And I would love you to stand up if you can and just have everyone give you a round of applause, because you are really wonderful and courageous and great participants in this project. So Addie, thank you very much. And Walter, thank you as well. And Herbert, where are you? In the back there? Mr. Technology. And I forgot you. Ruby. Frida is at home. She wasn't able to make it, and that's it. Okay, so that's it. So we really appreciate your participation. We understand that this has also been a little bit of a challenge for you, and we're going to work with you in order to make it work better and more efficiently. And everything that we're looking forward to is based on your feedback and your experiences. And these pilot participants all have buddies. We have a buddy system and agents who are also helping us with this project, and so I'm going to name them as well. So there's Gloria. I'm not giving your last names for reasons of confidentiality. Gloria, Ronnie, Doug, and Lillian. And Marcy. And Marcy. So you're all here, and we really do appreciate. I know it's also been a deep, learning experience for you as well. And finally, there's the team. We started off in 2017, in late 2017, on the first project. We submitted our proposal in March of 2018, and we got we were selected in April 2018. It was a big surprise to be selected. There were a lot of people who said we're too small, we're too this, we're too that, but we made it. We made it in the top 20. And I can say that during the finalist phase, this project turned from a technology project, because originally it was conceived as, technology helping people, into really something that is transformational. It's not just about the technology, it's about the social transformation that's going to come when you live in a connected village. And that sort of transformation and the whole concept of it, and you can see it in the proposal, in some of the organigrams and some of the models that have been submitted. A lot of it has to do with the vision of two people who are sitting here. We're very grateful for. So first of all, we have Mark Shrieky, who was our project manager and who has led this whole project. And I really want him to talk just a little bit about what this project has meant for him, because it's very personal, the transformation that it has instilled in all of us. And then, of course, Tanya Abramovich, who has pushed it past the finish line, because we were here for the past 3 weeks working overtime, and we really gave it the final push together, and these have been just remarkable leaders for our team. So thank you, Mark and Tanya. And what I wanted to add was there are other people who were very supportive in this process. We had Mitch Kajewski, who couldn't be with us today. He was very instrumental in working with the pilot candidates. He's a city councillor. And David Torchman, who is as an engineer and is a sort of rational thinker, gave us some perspective on what we were doing. And then, of course, we have Charles Guérin, who's been with us from the first phase. He's an engineer as well, and he was extremely instrumental in pushing this project forward. And then who else am I? There's Erica Botner, who you all know, and Nathalie Brière, who worked with us from the Centre de Vieillissement. We had also another partner, Melanie Couture, who worked with us from the Centre de Vieillissement, and Patricia Remark, who helped us do the drafting towards the end of the project. Chris Bowes, who did the video. Isn't it a fantastic video? I think it was just great. And, of course, Ruth Faraggia, who did the beautiful graphic design. If you see this, it's just a tremendous effort that was put into the graphics. Daryl Levine, who is really the pillar, who helped us put this all together, from the visuals to the writing to the drafting to everything else. And Tanya's still giving me more. Oh, Regine, yes, I'm losing, I feel like, okay, so there's Regine, who worked extremely hard. She did all the translations, but also there's, what do you call it, the writing underneath the video that you can see at any time if you want. And a lot of public consultation. And the public consultation, what is that called? The closed caption? Yeah. And there's Chris for the video. We just showed you video. Chris, thank you very much. And Regine and Andrea, the legal. We couldn't do without legal. It's a necessary evil. And who else am I missing? I think I've sort of covered everyone, but if there's anyone missing, I will apologize. Pardon? Oh, Sharon Polsky was our privacy expert, and she's not with us today because she is in Calgary, but I'll send her the video and she'll say, and we'll all say hi and thank you. So I think I've covered most everyone. If there's anyone I'm missing, I know Cornelia helped, and Lisa and Janine, I mentioned Angelo, the whole city team. Thank you very much. I will, without further ado, I'd like to pass the mic on to Mark, just to give you a little bit of an insight into how this has been transformational for him, and what to look forward to going forward should we actually succeed in getting the prize, which I'm very hopeful we will. Thank you.
Thank you, Dita. Is this good? Yeah, can you hear me okay? Great. I just want to share quickly my personal experience. I've been in technology for over 20 years, implementing all sorts of different ventures and initiatives. I had been living in Côte Saint-Luc for about 14 years in this community. And I have my parents in Côte Saint-Luc, and so many relatives, and there's so many things about this community that made this all the worthwhile. When I started on the project 7 months ago, I saw it as a huge opportunity to create change within Côte Saint-Luc and bring Côte Saint-Luc to a level where technology really today is what's connecting us. It's this kind of thing where you can't really go backwards. We have technology around us. We have, in building an intergenerational community, young people, older adults would connect around technology, and it would take, and who better than a city to make that possible? So I found that personally very interesting, and then over the course of our 7 months of work on this, we heard of things that would have been completely preventable using technology. There were incidents, I won't go into too many details, but there were things happening at home with certain older adults, and things happening even outside of certain residences, outside of Montreal even, that we heard of incidences happening in other cities, where small technology, small things that could have been implemented to keep people safer, could have prevented a lot of things that to technologists seem so obvious, but to the rest of the community can be implemented. So this has been a phenomenal journey. The idea of building a connected framework that addresses safety, that creates more convenience, that creates more social connectedness, the idea of neighbors helping neighbors and bringing back that sense of community through technology, through the idea of when someone needs something, that technology can be there to help. As Natalie Bier said in the video, saying that technology can be un bon voisin. We can implement that. We have an amazing vision for it. We detailed it in the document, and I want to thank everyone around the table here and everyone who collaborated on the project to make that a reality. We hit this milestone on March 5th, and we look forward to the results being announced in May, and really setting the stage for what can be the future of aging in community, creating better communities, not just in Côte Saint-Luc, but across Canada, even beyond.
Hi there. I am the city manager, but those of you who know me at all know that I have been in the city for many, many years, 18 years, starting as a public librarian. And so I know this community. I know when they used to come to the library and ask for things and their personal feelings about things. I wasn't part of the original team for this project. I got brought on at the same time as Mark, roughly. And one of the things that I will say is that this has really, it's almost cliche to say how much of a journey it's been. But one of the things that we learned, and when you consult your public and you discuss and what is needed, what started off as a technological support has turned into what seniors told us that they need. They want community engagement. Isolation begins long before you are a senior. Isolation begins when you're in your 40s and your 50s, And then it's just something that slowly slips away, and you end up finding yourself with fewer people. And what our seniors wanted was community engagement. They wanted to be part of the community. They wanted to have stimulation. They wanted to be safe. They wanted, and when in all our research, what they really, really need, what humans need, is other humans to be part. We have survived as a species because we have taken care of each other. And over time and over decades, this has been somewhat lost. But as we realize, and the more we get into this, the more incredibly important this project has become, for certainly me personally, for our team, that it is transformational. My interior world has changed because of this project, and I would hope that everybody else's, when we spread it across and hopefully win, will be equally transformed, because it makes a huge difference what we're doing here.
Thank you, Tanya. I want to say a few words about our mayor, because without the mayor, we would not have been able to pull this together. When it started, we were like, there were skeptics, and the mayor said, no, you push forward, you go forward, we're gonna push through. And he's been a team member. He's been participating in all our meetings, contributing to all the aspects of the engagement process, always ready to engage. And I think engagement is right, Tanya, when Tanya says engagement has really transformed the project, because that's something that Côte Saint-Luc has really done well. And I think that it's really made the difference in turning this project into something that's meaningful. And thank you, Mitchell, for being there for the whole project, for the whole city, and for making this, we hope, the success that it's going to be recognized for. Thank you.